Good evening and welcome to our AI Family Series, designed specifically for caregivers and families of our Stratford Public School students. I'm Dr. Michelle Eckler, Director of Instructional Technology. In this series, we'll be exploring the ins and outs of artificial intelligence, helping you understand its basics and its growing role in our daily lives and your children's education. Our goal is to provide clear, practical information about AI. For additional resources and further details on everything we discussed tonight, please visit www.stratfordk12.org. Tonight's topic is, can AI help parents and families? I have a special guest here with me today, and I'm going to give her the opportunity to introduce herself.
Hi, everybody. Happy to be here. I'm Mrs. Sam Rosenberg. I am the Director of Career and Community Learning. And what that means is that I do oversee a few departments, one of which is the Career Technical Education area, which houses several different pathways for students, and also the Family Engagement Department as well. And speaking of career, we also have continuing education that falls under my purview. So all of those three things, you're welcome to contact me if you need any answers or have any particular suggestions or ideas. So I'm happy to be here. Thank you, Dr. Eckler.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here with me this evening. I'm going to jump right in with our first question. What are some real world ways parents are using AI right now to manage the day-to-day chaos of family life?
Oh, great question. So I feel like parents are already using AI power tools and practically every day. They simplify their busy schedules. They support a lot of the family functions, if you will. So I feel as though when I'm speaking to parents within the community, I know one of the things they really lean into, so to speak, and especially during the summer months, right? Is to use some reading apps, right? That would help support their children's academic skills. SPS has some of those platforms already available, and those platforms are powered by AI. So they're already utilizing that to assist in that daily chaos of family life too. And I think without realizing it too, those that may have Alexa or Google Assistant, they use those to manage their calendars. I know with my young children, my husband and I did a divide and conquer approach with that. So having those smart assistants was really helpful. And I think families lean into that to set reminders for school events, keep track of all the activities, especially the extracurricular activities from pre-K on, really. Some families even, use like the meal planners or grocery apps, from what I'm hearing, especially if you're into kind of the healthy recipes. So I think some of that would assist in their daily. Finance is usually a big one that pops up when I'm speaking to families. I have families who would like to have in-person classes on finance, but they also use some AI tools, from my understandings, to track, right? You have all those financial institutions that offer, various apps. That's AI in and of itself. So whether you use it to personalize your budget or just to keep, again, the family finances on track. So some of the things, those are some of those items that I see families using out there on a daily basis. And it's just become like part of their, what they do now. So it's not really new. And I feel like a lot of families, if there are some new AI tools out there, that they're open to it as well too. But even just the simplest, if you have, automated lights or thermostats and security systems, that helps to reduce stress, right? So I'm not getting up to turn the light off. I could just tell, my lights to turn off, or they turn off automatically. So I think parents are already using a lot of things to manage their home environment more efficiently. And that transfers into, again, the school setting. They're always looking for tools to make life a little easier,
Absolutely. I think as a parent myself, I have a calendar that uses AI to do meal planning. And when you said that, that was very specific to me. Like, yes, I absolutely do that. Saves a lot of time. Okay, so my next question, how can AI support parents in staying connected to what's happening at school without adding more to their plates?
Yeah, that feeling of overwhelmness. We want to reduce and lessen any sort of anxiety or sense of anxiety because parents do want to stay informed, but they also don't want to have this information overload, right? So we have Power School, which is really helpful, especially on the non-English speaking families. They can access the school communications. So the translation features in their preferred language is really helpful. So that's something I really highly recommend if they haven't accessed it, but the majority of our families are appreciative of that the school system offers that. Um, just the overall communication platforms that we use, right? I know we're going to streamline it. A lot of our elementary families really appreciate the Dojo platform, because that, at least on, I'm putting both hats on in a sense as an educator, it helps to kind of automate the newsletters, but they also recognize like when the newsletters are coming out. And so that, again, make it more efficient to run my family, right? And it allows that personalized update on any of the assignments that the teachers may be posting, upcoming events again, tracking attendance so that, they're aware if there's a certain threshold that their child's reaching, that, hey, have I sent a note in for an excuse? If not, I need to contact the school. And just that overall outreach, right? It's not as personal, but at least allows them to stay informed. And we do have an AI policy now. So I know you were integral in that work as well. And I think that AI policy helps families. Number one, it helps with that transparency piece and accessibility, right? And just ensuring that they receive information as clear as possible and secure. That's key, because we also want to make sure we're sticking with the privacy laws of FERPA and whatever else that we need to ensure. So yeah, those are some of the things I think that, again, it makes life a little easier so that our families can stay informed and not feel as overwhelmed, because there's always, education changes all the time. There's always things coming down that, we have to ensure that we're catching up on, but we also need to make sure our parents understand as well.
Absolutely. And I mean, I'm the culprit of accidentally forgetting to call my child out sick and getting that phone call. So anyway, AI can help me with those things is a positive for me. Okay, next question is, what should parents look for or look out for when trying AI tools for things like scheduling, homework help, communication, any of the things they might use AI for?
Yeah, that's key. I mean, I mentioned the security aspect, right? But when in doubt, I always feel like go to the policy, right? Because I feel like our policy explicitly outlines what should happen with AI, right? And that it underscores too, and that it's really more for like augmenting the learning, not doing the work for students. And this way we can also provide, the rules, so to speak, on what it takes to maintain that academic integrity, and supporting your child's school development. But I think some of the points within that policy is key in that, it does talk about data privacy and security. It does ensure that, while AI right now is not always perfect, they at least offers, some accuracy, and there's limited bias as well. So I think parents encouraging their kids to make sure that they're verifying information, be a good digital citizen in a sense, and where those sources come from, so that they're not misunderstanding or there's errors within. But I always go back to, again, transparency, in explaining what we have available and understanding how things work, basically. And overall, just aligning everything with the school expectations, using AI for homework help versus, again, doing the work for you. It doesn't replace learning, right? It should be a thought partner as much as possible, but that's our job to make sure that our students understand that it is a thought partner, and that the long-term goal is that your kids are learning, and that they understand the expectations of use with their teacher and how to use it at home too. So I always go back to the policy in those situations. That way there's a set of rules, so to speak, that we're following.
Yeah, the policy is always a great place to go. And you're so right about the thought partner piece. I mean, that's kind of the crux of our whole policy as well. All right, so our last question, in what ways can AI actually strengthen a parent-child relationship rather than replace important interactions?
So, and I believe the policy does outline this when I read it, but I should say that it should serve as a tool of support, and again, not replacing, because there's nothing like human connection, right? And that's what relationships matter, human connections matter. So I feel like, going back, you have to use it thoughtfully. It's helpful, again, for parents to free up their time. It's helpful for them to create opportunities for deeper connection, because now you've automated a lot of things. Now you have that time for the connection, right? Just like I mentioned earlier, the scheduling and the reminders. So parents can focus on that quality time, and have those meaningful conversations with their children. And parents can learn with their kids too. Like, I've learned a lot what my kids went through the school system from K-12. So this is just another opportunity where parents can co-learn with these AI tools that are out there. And quite frankly, I mean, I'm a little tech nerd myself, so I appreciate it. But at the same time, I just go back to, even if I'm not tech savvy, I still appreciate learning new things, fostering the curiosity with my kids, and just sharing new discoveries in general. Nowadays, I know we talk a lot about like mental health supports and so forth. I think that's a powerful tool that AI can assist with kind of supporting their social emotional well-being, because there are a lot of apps out there that can help children express their feelings even. So that might be helpful for parents when they have to have those conversations and support, and so on. But I always go back to like, use these things as a means to deepen relationships in some way, somehow, So I hope that helps.
Absolutely, yes. And I agree with everything you said. But I do want to thank you so much for being here with me this evening for our family webinar. And as we wrap up today's session, please remember, families, that your learning journey about AI doesn't stop here. For even more resources, including helpful guides, quick micro courses you can take on your own pace, and fun monthly AI challenges, please head over to www.stratfordk12.org. Just click on Family Resources, then Instructional Technology. We encourage you to explore and continue the conversation at home. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, everybody.